Welcome to another episode of the Palace Huddle Podcast. Here are your hosts, Rob Schwartz and Justin Onayemi, two Bears fans who decided talking into a microphone was better than shouting at their television.
What's up, Palace Huddlers? Huddle up! Been a while since we've been in person, but we nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had no doubt we would.
I didn't either. Yeah, we got good chemistry, unlike some teams out there.
I knew we would say it at the same time. At the
same
time. Oh, all right. We'll work on that. I mean, the last few weeks, I haven't even been mustering up the energy to come over to the studio, which is, as we said, less than a mile round trip.
That's right.
And I probably shouldn't have even today.
No.
But there was a different feel about this one, and I'm going to get into that later.
There's a different feel back to back, to be honest.
Wow. You'll have to convince me of that one.
I mean, they were one play away of winning that game against Green Bay.
Yeah, I guess. But I have a reason I'm saying that specifically about this game, but maybe it applies to Green Bay. Once you hear my explanation, you tell me if it also applies to Green Bay.
All right. For now, though, here you are, Palace Huddle Podcast. Palace Huddlers, please like and comment. Hit that subscribe button. For those of you who are not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button now because you will automatically be entered into a free NFL jersey giveaway. We changed it from a Chicago Bears jersey giveaway because they've been that bad. It'll be any free NFL jersey of your choice as long as it's not custom, an extra charge. And we hit 700 subscribers. Woo! So guess what? Anyone who gets in on this before the drawing, you'll be included as well. But we will hold that drawing on December 15th. This week is going to be
5th or 15th?
I'm sorry. 15th.
Oh, you meant 15th.
Yes, okay. December 15th. Because here's the thing. This week is going to be short. We got the Thursday Thanksgiving game against the Lions. I don't think we're going to be recording on Thanksgiving.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm not even sure if Bob and I are going to get a midweek show in this week. It's going to be real tight if we do. I leave for vacation that weekend right after Thanksgiving. Yeah. And I won't be back until the 10th. So that following Sunday, Justin and I will do the drawing.
Perfect. So,
if Bob wants to join us live too, he can come out.
Last I knew, we were directly at the number 700. But if we end up at 720, 740, that's no problem. It lowers your odds a little bit, but still, somebody's going to get a free jersey, and that's pretty cool.
You might not want to be passing this along yet, right? But guess what? There's more giveaways into the future, okay? We've already planned our next two. We won't tell you what those are yet, but there are more giveaways coming, and all of them are going to involve you being a subscriber.
When it's all said and done, we're going to do more giveaways than the Bears giveaway. No, never mind.
No, I don't think we're going to ever amount to that amount. I don't make enough money to cover.
I'm talking about all the games they kept losing with winning the turnover margin. Today it was 1-1.
I thought you were going to say
giving away games.
Giving away games. That's what I was going to say.
They got us beat by a wide margin in that area, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So also, if you're looking to bet on some games, definitely help out our show. Help yourselves out and go to our sign-up page with BetStamp at signupexpert.com/huddle. You'll find all the best sign-up offers and sign-up offers and odds by looking at all the different sports books in your region.
So we could easily just say it's another loss, 5 in a row. The podcast feels the same every week.
Yeah.
But can I just say why this one felt different?
I'm all ears.
All right. So coming into the season, I'll speak for me, but I've been around you enough, and I feel like collectively we have like a Palace Huddle way of thinking, right?
Yeah, of course.
But I came into this season with very high hopes about the Bears. Even though knowing they had a rookie signal caller, which typically means you'll struggle a bit, I still thought this roster was ready to compete. Definitely thought they'd be in the hunt.
Yes.
But more than that, I thought they could be a playoff team. I had them at 10 wins, 11 wins, somewhere in there. That now, 11 is off the table, and 10 would take a miracle. So my point is, coming into the season, I had that high of hopes for them. And that would have been my number one way to see this season go. But my number two way would have been Caleb shows that he's that dude. They look good and exciting. And if you're not going to be a playoff team, and we also think they don't have the right person running the show as their CEO coach,
100%.
then the best case scenario then was they look good, they're fun, and they don't win so many games. So now if I realize that had I not had such lofty expectations at the beginning, this actually would have been the optimal way for them to look. Now, not the sloppy, bad losses to Arizona where you don't even score a touchdown. Same thing with New England, and that's an inferior team. Arizona, they're proving that they belong in that hunt conversation.
They're middle of the pack.
But New England came into your house, whooped you up. You didn't even score an offensive touchdown. Losses like that were not fun. And the Packers one, I guess, is the transition out of that into what we saw today. But today, prior to the game, my very first thing I wanted to look at was, can the Bears continue some level of offensive competence, is what I said. And I listed a bunch of things that would be. Run game, how you use play action, moving the pocket, quick time to throw, limit your pre-snap penalties, getting into third and manageable, and third down conversions. Things they did pretty okay in the Green Bay game. And we can go through that list. We don't have to go through each thing. But the times they looked good today, it was that quick throws. They're spreading the ball around. They're getting the ball into playmakers' hands. I don't know why that was something we needed to explain that should be done. And it was fun. It was fun to watch, except for the result. That was not fun at all. But again, if I go back to, hey, this is not a playoff team. No. Unless a miracle is coming, this is not a playoff team. No. We don't think Matt Eberflus should be the coach. No. So them winning 5 more games and missing by 1 game isn't really the best outcome. Because then Ryan Poles might go, he's still got them, he's still a good leader, leader of men, and maybe we can run this back. No. This team's probably going to end 6-11, and that might be hopeful. But if they're 6-11, Caleb gets to start showing you what he's capable of. I mean, stats aren't everything, but let's just read his line real quick.
I can tell it to you.
32 for 47. That's a lot of throws. That reminds you of that Indy game.
But
you lost that Indy game, and he's throwing dimes everywhere.
And it was 68% completion percentage, right?
340 yards.
Yep.
2 touchdowns, no picks.
Yep.
Ran the ball, too, when needed. Some clutch runs.
Double check it, but I'm pretty sure he had more rushing yards than both running backs combined.
I was about to say no, but you're right. 30 for Swift, and then the next is 13. But that's DJ Moore, who should be the running back based on how he ran. Yeah, Roschon, 2 carries for 2 yards. So that part of the formula was off because Roschon was getting meaningful touches in Green Bay, not just goal line touches. Right. And I thought, maybe this is something Thomas Brown thinks is important, getting 2 backs going. That kind of went away today. In a game where Caleb throws 47 times,
well, here's the thing.
The run game is not prioritized as much.
Minnesota took the run game away.
That's true.
Right? I mean, they tried to
They dominate in the run, not just against the Bears, but overall.
Right. So you're talking about a defense that's very good. You're talking about a defense that took the run game away and wanted to put the game on Caleb's back. Those stats, I'm sorry. Look, I'm a Justin Fields fan. I don't like no, you know what? I do like putting this out there. I'm a Justin Fields fan, but guess what? Justin Fields would not be having a game like that. The way that he was able to maneuver in the pocket, the one throw that he stepped up into the pocket, it's not anything Justin Fields would have done. He would have tucked it and ran.
Dude, how many times today did you see him put the ball through very tight windows?
Yes.
And he had a few still sail on him, a few that you're just like, dude, hit that one to Odunze on the sideline. What is hard about that?
Odunze on the sideline was his worst throw of the day.
Worst throw of the day, right? And he knew it.
Yeah.
But there
the
were
one
some...
to Cole, he was doing something with his hand. I don't know if it slipped or what, but he sailed that one too.
that high one.
But I was less upset about that one than I was to Rome on the right hash, right?
He sailed.
He was right there between the hash and the boundary. He had between the corner and the safety. That was such a way easier throw than what we had seen earlier.
And we've seen him miss that type of throw several times.
Yes.
I just want to go back to something. So last week against Green Bay, first game that Thomas Brown called, one of the things that very much stood out to me 9 for 16 on third downs, 3 for 3 on fourth downs. So if you combine those, that's 12 for 19 in like these must convert type of situations. Today, third down, not as good. It was 6 for 17. But the Keenan Allen one was a damn dime that they had to replay, and his foot was on the line by 2 centimeters. Cole Kmet had one of the easiest drops on third downs as well.
I think
they still aren't conversions, but that 6 for 17 quickly in your mind is like, that could have been 8 for 17.
Yeah, I think it was Adam Hogue who tweeted out that was Cole Kmet's first drop.
Yeah, it was bad.
In 14 games.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's not going to happen too much time.
Yeah.
Now, at that part of the game, I can tell you 3 plays where a guy gets up and goes, yep, that's on me. That's on me. And I said, enough. We don't need chest tapping and patting. We need you to make plays.
Yeah.
It was Cole Kmet. It was Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Doesn't even turn around, and Williams put it right on him.
Yeah.
And then, and we got to talk about it later, but Carter, I have not thought his return game was that great this year. And he makes one of the boneheaded plays. I'm like,
he's telling his guys to get out of the way,
and he's not out of the way.
one that's in the way.
Just fair catch it if you're that close. I don't know what that was. It reminded me like, hey, maybe I know they got rid of Velus, but if you're going to muff stuff, at least Velus can break them every once in a while.
Yeah.
He kind of redeemed himself with a good run later. But I just like that, like you said, the run was going to get shut down based on the defense you were playing.
Yeah.
And the Bears at some point were like, oh, we have Caleb Williams. Let's let this dude cook. And it looked real nice. It was fun. It was bad. I mean, I can't believe they found yet another way to lose a game. But they were the team that should have lost. They're down 10 with like,
I tweeted it out.
3 minutes.
Bad teams find ways to lose.
Well,
and
that's what they are right now.
Until you prove that you're a good team, you're not going to win.
But if Caleb finishes the season similar to how he's been playing these last couple weeks, and they go 6-11, and you're picking 8th in the draft,
you want to know how you're going to make a change right now? Because here's the thing: I talked about this with Bob on the midweek show, and him and I were not in agreement in this regard. I'm giving Matt Eberflus the Detroit Lions game because it's a short week.
Giving it to him?
Giving it to him.
What do you mean? That he's
going
that he's going to lose?
He's going to be coaching for the Detroit Lions.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
After the Detroit Lions game, I am firing Matt Eberflus.
No.
I don't even care what the result is. I'm giving Thomas Brown an opportunity to audition for this team right now because I want to know if he's my guy going forward. Because if he's not, I get a first-hand glance at what he brings to the table without making him my head coach. And if I'm not liking the results that I'm getting from that, then I'm going to interview other people.
All right. I heard you and Bob in the midweek, and it's not so much that I want to pick a side between the two of you. I just want to make it very clear, and Bob did point this out. Firing Eberflus is one decision. Who you replace him with as the interim for the remainder of the year is a totally different decision.
Yeah.
And we like what we've been seeing out of these 2 games. It's a small sample size of Thomas Brown as your OC.
Correct.
To now say you're the OC and you're the head coach. There are head coaches. Okay, most head coaches, I'm taking John Harbaugh out of it, and others, maybe if you know any, are either considered offensive guys or defensive guys. Harbaugh, I know his background was special teams, which is why I removed him.
Sure.
But just because you're an offensive guy doesn't mean you call the offensive plays. Just because you're a defensive guy doesn't mean you call the defensive plays. Some coaches do it. And I'm not saying that if Thomas Brown one day becomes a head coach, that he won't be the type of coach that could call plays. But why, in such a short turnaround, put so much on him to then say, this is your audition? I mean, I say his audition is he's making this offense look a lot better. He's making Caleb Williams look a lot better.
I get that point, but now you're going to be giving him 4 years?
No, I didn't say that. But
I'm saying if you decide that he's your coach going forward, you're giving him 4 years and hope that he can be a good NFL coach. Where this way you get 5 weeks, right, to see if he is capable of doing it.
So is he still working with the offense as their OC and head coach?
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to be the play caller. He won't be the play caller. You're going to have.
That's what I was basically asking you.
Yeah, because now probably make it Kerry Joseph is going to be your play caller, but he's going to be in charge of the offense, just like you see guys like Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. And I mean,
you're just wondering, does he know when to challenge and when not to challenge?
I mean, those are the
Eberflus
things that
doesn't
you're
know.
not-
Eberflus doesn't know.
No, he challenges when he shouldn't be, and he doesn't challenge when he should. We've seen it
Going into the half. I
again.
didn't think he used his timeouts the right way. I mean, it ended up not necessarily costing them, and they did get the field goal at the end. I'm thinking you could have gone for a touchdown. And again, that's if you are of the mindset of, we're going to try to score every damn time we have the ball, not just end with a kick and play complementary football. Because I'm sorry, as good as this defense is, or as good as their numbers look, for much of this season, they have not made the big stand when you need them to. No. And so to act like, and I'm saying because Eberflus, as a defensive-minded coach and as a person who says complementary football, all the phases, no. You got guys out there muffing punts. Your defense is giving up. I mean, there was back-to-back drives. The Vikings had a 3-play, 3-and-out where they only took like 20 seconds off the clock. Yeah. And I was thinking, why aren't you running the ball when you ran it down their throat earlier in the game?
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
Then the very next drive, they only needed 3 plays to go like 70 yards to score. So time of possession, where the Bears dominated in the first half, means nothing if they can score on you in less than a minute.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. He just is.
What was he saying to Caleb at the end?
So Caleb said
it was a long conversation.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. This is the Kevin O'Connell thing, because he did the same thing with, oh, God, I'm blanking on the quarterback out of Indianapolis.
Richardson?
Anthony Richardson. He did the same thing in that game, got in his ear, had a good conversation with him. But basically, Caleb said in his post-game interview press conference that, he just said, like, look, you did really good things, and, it's going to be, great competing against you for years to come, and yada, yada, yada. It was just, coach speak, basically. Mm-hmm. At least that's what he told us it was. I mean, he might have been saying, I'm going to take your girlfriend out on a date after this. I mean, I have no idea what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna, if it was something inappropriate, like, I'm going to find a way to trade for you or something, like that's never going to make it to the podium. Right. But, he probably was saying,
we'd love to trade coaches.
Well, and here's the thing. You
saw one win or one margin of victory wins.
Yeah. Bob
or one score wins. I think it was on the broadcast too.
Was it? Okay. Well, I'll give Bob credit because he sent it to me or us in the group chat. Granted, he wasn't the one that came up with the stats, but anyway. So Jordan Addison, the wide receiver who destroyed Chicago today, was teammates with Caleb Williams at USC, right? So he made a comment also about how the fact, like, his former teammates say how great of a coach Kevin O'Connell is. So clearly he's had conversations with Jordan Addison. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in his mind going into draft season, right, he was hopeful that the Vikings would somehow come up and get him versus taking J.J. McCarthy when they did and team him back up with Jordan Addison.
Trade for the haul. No.
But
take Caleb Williams. And you saw today why that's a good choice.
Yes. All right, we're going to take a break. But before we do, I'm going to applaud Matt Eberflus.
After the break, let's find out why.
That's right.
All right. Rob, did you get hit in the head?
Maybe. Enjoy these ads.
And we are back. I'm trying to see what's in that drink over there.
Oh, it's strong.
Because apparently
it's strong.
Rob must be losing it here. He wanted, going into the break, he said something about an applause for Matt Eberflus, and I'm scratching my head. So I'm turning it over to you, my friend.
Yeah, cheers to you, Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, I congratulate you on finally understanding that you need to take ownership for the stupidity of your decisions in your press conferences. He finally took some responsibility today.
I feel like lately he's been saying accountability. I just don't think he knows what it means. So let me hear. I didn't hear the press conference.
He legitimately talked about the fact that they had the kicking team out on the field, then having to rush back the offense, then them having to rush to get the snap off.
Right.
He specifically said, look, that's on me. I should have made it clear in that situation. My kicking team should have known we are not going to kick the ball and that we are going to go for it. He took ownership of it 2, 3, 4 times in that press conference. Clearly, someone has been in his ear saying, look, stop passing the fucking buck and take ownership.
Okay. Yay.
Yay!
No. Very mini clap.
No,
Because
not
my other
even.
question would be, why did you do it in the first place?
Well, first of all, no. Yes, that should be first. Second is, why wasn't this something you were doing when you made a mistake with the Hail Mary, when you made a mistake in the New England game?
when you made a mistake with the play before the Hail Mary.
Yes,
I'm still more mad about that than
100%.
the actual Hail Mary itself.
100%.
And then we were in position. So you drew it up to have your corner facing the crowd.
Yeah.
This is a good way to guard a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't get into that. We can't.
Pretend that you're
I need
not
the-
paying attention to the play
I need
and
the-
then get into position.
I need the Men in Black zapper to forget that completely. But
Yeah. So again, congratulations on being a horrible coach, Matt Eberflus. Horrible coach. Which, by the way,
good segue.
we were discussing a little bit on break.
Well, let me start because I'll mention on the screen.
Yes, because we had
what
two
we saw on the
separate
screen.
things that we were talking about.
So very close to the end of the game. In fact, I have here, there were 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Bears were still trailing at this time, 27-24. And they flash up on the screen, 1-score wins since 2022. To remind our viewers why that's critical, 2022 is the year the Bears hired Matt Eberflus.
Yes.
2022 is also the year that the Vikings hired Kevin O'Connell.
Yes.
So, in that time, the Vikings, at this time, it said 22 one-score wins. We all know how the game ended. They now have 23 one-score wins, which is the most in the NFL during that span of time. The Bears have 5, which is the fewest in the NFL during that time. So, right there, that sucks. But you could, if you don't know too much about either of these teams, think, oh, well, the Bears only have 5 one-score wins. Maybe they crush their opponents week after week after week. What they should have also included on here is how are these teams in one-score losses?
Yeah.
And you / Bob brought that answer to us, and let's bring it to our viewers.
So I'm stealing this from Bob, who actually got it from Joe Ostrowski. Okay. But this expands on what they flashed up on the graphic in the game. So yes, Matt Eberflus only has 5 wins. He also has 18 losses. 18 losses.
One-score
in one-score games.
And look, you could say a one-score loss or a one-score win can be attributed to luck, could be attributed to bad call by the ref or a good call. You could attribute it to a lot of things. But here's the thing. You also must attribute it to late game decision-making and coaching.
Yes. Yes.
Especially when it's skewed heavily in one direction. So O'Connell, probably the best in the league, I would guess. 23-10.
Yeah. So let's add that up real quick. So that's 43.
33.
No, for O'Connell.
What do you mean?
43. I'm sorry, 33 games for O'Connell and 33 games for Eberflus.
No, 23 for Eberflus.
I'm sorry. God damn it. I meant 23 and 33, not 33 and 43. I knew it was a 10-game swing in O'Connell's favor.
All right.
But that's also showing that he's putting his team in better chances to win games. That he's got 10 extra games that he's only within 1 score.
And let's assume this is all regular season. We know the Bears haven't been to the playoffs with Eberflus.
Yeah.
Vikings did, I think, make it once. No?
Yeah, but I think they lost their first game.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know if this includes playoffs.
Sure.
So,
no idea. Anyway.
They've coached the same number of games, is my point.
Correct.
And so for him to be in, you're saying 10 more close games already is probably a tip of the hat towards that coach.
Yeah, if you're winning them.
No, if you're in them at all is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Because the assumption again is it's not like Eberflus is 5-18 in 1-score games and 25-2 in 2, 3, 4-score games because they're routing everybody.
Right, exactly. And what's funny is the bottom half of this stat.
Real quick though, because what I just said, I remember thinking about the Vikings 2 years ago, was it? Where they almost all their wins were 1 score.
Yes. I think 11 of them.
Yeah, like 11 out of 12 or 11 out of 11. So
yeah, that was that first season, and we just thought, oh, it was a fluke, and they're going to suck. And then they didn't do as well the second year, so that was partly why we thought they're going to be bad this year. Plus, they had quarterback issues.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Sam Darnold looks like a freaking all-star. So, again, going back to Bob's message here, Eberflus is the only NFL coach with a sub 400 winning percentage in one-score games.
So all coaches, let me just show the graph here. All coaches could be anywhere on the scatter plot.
Yes.
And then you have 400 that they decided is a threshold of suck.
Yeah.
So what's he at?
217.
Off the screen. And he's the only one under here.
Only one.
And he's only halfway
to
400 winning percentage.
Like not 369.
Yeah, exactly. He's not 378 and then someone's at 404.
Yeah. No. That's how bad it has been. This is why I'm saying he needs to go. And this is why I just want it to happen now.
I feel like I might be fired a little bit today.
Yeah.
Am I fired?
A little bit.
This is what the Bears are doing to me, man.
I told Justin I wasn't even wanting to podcast today because I just felt I wasn't so much as angry today as I was just defeated, right? I just felt that sense of defeat. I got up before the kick even happened on my TV, partly because one, I knew they were going to make it. It's a chip shot. Granted, Houston choked their chip shot today.
That's
also screwed us in other ways.
Yeah.
But the my phone, I was slightly behind. Well, typically my phone goes off faster than the game anyway, because people who are there live, like the beat reporters, they see it before it hits my screen. So sometimes things will pop up on my phone that like happens before the play actually happens. Mm-hmm. So I knew that the kick went in. Right. But I go to the bathroom and my daughter, who is 4 years old, she's like, "Dad, you're giving up on them already?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am."
No, you should have said you're 4. I'm 40. This is not giving up already. So let me throw a couple random nuggets out there too. We talked about how coming into this season, prepare for every Bears rookie quarterback record to just be shattered.
Yeah.
Now, and I'll come back and say a couple things about that. But it was so awkward at the very beginning of the game. Before the game started, they put Caleb Williams on the screen and said he's the first quarterback since 2005, so 2005, with zero pass touch. Sorry, only Bears quarterback since 2005 with 0 pass touchdowns in 4 straight single season starts.
Yeah,
and it's like we talk about how bad this position has been for so long, and he's on that side of a record.
Yeah, it's not good.
But I more so look at it again as like the overall functionality of the system, because they're just sitting here saying, "Hey, you didn't throw any picks today. Great job, buddy.
They scored 12
you
points
didn't throw any
in 2
picks
games
today.
Combined.
You didn't throw any picks today. Great job, buddy." No, this dude is the number 1 pick. He's a Heisman winning quarterback, a Heisman winning player. Let him go out there and be that dude, even if it means throwing some picks. Those windows he was hitting, could some of those been picked?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, and there was one.
But if you're afraid of them to be picked, yeah, there was one that should have been picked. But if you're afraid to throw picks, you're not going to even take those chances. And he's capable, obviously, of completing them too.
So wait, that makes me wonder. We've been putting all the blame in that regard on Matt Eberflus, right?
I've been putting some of it on Shane Waldron.
I mean, but we've had
it starts with Eberflus saying end every drive with a kick.
We've seen him say those things. We've also seen him, intentionally talk about interceptions even when they win games. We've seen him with Luke Getsy go through the same situation, right? We saw it with Justin Fields. Like, we thought that it was all Eberflus. So now the question is it all Eberflus? Or, well, to your point, maybe both Waldron and Getsy were the same way, and that's why Waldron was hired, because he had the same mentality as Eberflus. But now, Thomas Brown, look, I get that against the Packers, it was a lot of quick, short passes, right? Today, it was quick passes, but there was also a lot of depth passes involved as well. So, and like you said, throwing through tight windows, taking chances, being risky.
Picking up the blitz.
Is Thomas Brown? Well, yes. We heard Caleb Williams come out and say it. We've heard other players say it. The way he communicates, telling you what he wants, the direction that the team is going in has been much clearer in these 2 weeks. Maybe that is helping the offensive line. It probably also helps that they have Braxton Jones and Darnell right back, which they didn't have 2 games ago, but
for sure.
It's just frustrating to see this happen now when it should have been happening earlier. Could they have won against New England if it was happening earlier? Could they have won against Washington if it was happening earlier? Could they have won against Indianapolis if there was happening
make
earlier?
Thomas Brown the head coach, and then we'll find out.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. But
I'm on that train. I'm on that train.
Well, oh man. So just to also come back to the original point, he did break the passing yard record for a rookie quarterback, and I think touchdowns. Because I believe coming into the game, even though he's been frozen on 9 for a while, he was tied.
Didn't he need 4?
I'm not sure. We'll have to look that up. He's at 11 now. He still will. I still believe he will shatter every Bears quarterback rookie record.
Yeah.
But there was definitely that lull that was hurting him. No, but I was happy to see them just let's see what this guy can do. And now you see it.
I'm excited. I mean, I've been excited most of the offseason, and then fucking Eberflus has ruined my excitement.
So when he finally did throw a touchdown, it said it was the first one since week 6. That had been 166 pass attempts, and it snaps the second longest active drought in the NFL. Now, remember, that game was in London, so I feel like they could have gone back to last time on American soil and made all the numbers look even worse.
Right.
But I was so glad that their first passing touchdown after all that time wasn't the DJ Moore throw to Odunze.
Yes. Yes.
Because then it's like, oh, no. Caleb still can't get one, but now Moore's getting one. Which I liked that play.
I like that play, too. I like that you put it on tape.
I think Odunze should have made it a pass interference.
Yeah, I mean, he could have sold it more.
Exactly.
I mean, there was definitely contact before the ball got there, but, I think the broadcast made a good point that the DB was getting turned at the right time. As a Bears fan, I'm going to bitch and complain about the fact they didn't get the call because it felt like from an officiating standpoint, things were very one-sided in this game. At one point, I know it was 6 penalties for 75 yards to 1 penalty for 10 at one point in the game. And I think Chicago, you said they ended it with 7, but Minnesota also ended up with 5. So things started to even out a little bit. I don't know if it was, wait. Was like the Buffalo Wild Wings thing where they wanted the game to, expand and extend. So the refs now started throwing flags just to make sure that the Bears were able to catch up. I don't know. Okay. I'm done being negative. I want to be positive for the rest of this episode. So.
I believe he's tied for the rookie record in touchdown passes.
Okay, so then he's got to get one more.
One more. And he's tied with, forgive me here, I have to look, Charlie O'Rourke.
Yeah.
I don't know when he played, but he was born in 1917.
Okay. He was a part of the...
How did he get so many? I didn't even think the forward pass was around back then. But
those little shovel passes.
All right, so you said done with negatives.
Yeah, I think I'm done with negativity.
Can I do one more?
Yeah.
Please.
No, go ahead.
One more.
Go ahead.
How disheartening was it?
Oh, wait, there's one more that we didn't talk about, and I can't believe
how disheartening
was ready
was
to move on.
To end the game against Green Bay with a blocked field goal and to start this game with a blocked field goal.
I think I just blocked it out of my mind, right?
And that was with Braxton Jones just getting destroyed on the line. He can't hold up against strong bull rush type of approaches.
Okay, speaking of that, where was the rush on the last kick for the Bears? They had 2 guys in the back that didn't even
They barely even tried. But like you said, you just got up and went to the bathroom.
Yeah,
you knew it was over.
Just as much as I did.
Your daughter should ask them, hey, you guys giving up already?
Why? Why didn't... I don't know. I'm starting to...
There was a lot of whys on that drive.
But I'm starting to put some doubts on Hightower, too.
That drive, the Bears offense did not do what you wanted them to do. They had all the quote-unquote momentum in the game, and that went away with bad sack. Horrible
as much
sack.
as we're talking up Caleb Williams, that sack was bad.
That was terrible. It put them behind the 8 ball. But then a booming punt got them all the way back to their 20.
Yeah.
You can't ask for that much better than that, other than if it really was a fumble, because they would have started at the 6. But it was time for the defense to come, make a stand, be that defense. Not really. They had a good start, and then they start giving up conversion after conversion after conversion. Hawkinson went crazy on the Bears, but I don't think he caught his first pass until midway through the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but he ended up with over 100 yards receiving.
Well, and it was crucial.
On my bench, by the way, in fantasy, I refused to play him.
It was crucial, and that was very disheartening. So I like Santos and the fact that he's an accurate kicker.
Yes.
But he does not have a strong enough leg, which is why when he kicks from 48, I'm confident that blocks are in the equation. Whereas I see other guys, that's basically a chip shot for these other guys. And he must be kicking it low trajectory because he doesn't have the leg, and that's why he's getting blocked. Couple that with the fact that you got O-linemen just getting bull rushed back into him.
Yeah.
It's a bad combination. So in my offseason, in our mock offseason, I want them to somehow get a kicker in here who's a modern-day NFL kicker who's kicking them from 50-something like it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
you used a 4th-round pick on a punter. Fourth round, go for the kicker this year.
It's a huge disadvantage for this team to not be able to get to the 40 and feel like they can at least come away with 3 points every single time.
And you're still playing in Soldier Field, which is not as easy to kick in as many stadiums around the country. But
sure, but I'm not going to first of all, you play half your games on the road. So I'm not going to worry about it that much. If they're that concerned with it, fucking have 2 kickers then. Have a guy who can kick from within the 40 and a guy who can kick from deep. I don't give a shit.
You're giving it 2 roster spots to kicker.
I don't care if they're that concerned about accuracy and Cairo Santos is that good within the 40, whatever.
So now you trust Eberflus to make that level of decisions?
Eberflus is gone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and to be honest, Cairo Santos is gone too. Okay,
We're teasing for the mock offseason episode.
He was a person.
There's going to be a lot to talk about.
He was a person we wanted gone to begin with because we had that concern from the get-go with his leg.
But unfortunately,
he was a 90-some percentage accuracy kicker, so it was like, okay, I understand why you're bringing him back. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot to talk about the blocked field goal. That was bad.
Was that your other one?
Yeah.
Okay, we can stop the negative.
Okay.
All right. Any last things you want to put in there that were positive then?
Yeah, again, Thomas Brown, Caleb Williams. This offense is picking up steam, looking good. The week before they were able to run the ball, that looked good, and then they were able to build off the pass off of it. This week, the opposite. They're not able to get the run game going. They're able to get the passing game going. There were miscues. Don't get me wrong. There were miscues. The DeAndre Swift thought he was going to be getting the pass, but it went to Keenan Allen, so then he didn't block. And,
yeah.
There's miscues. And I also wasn't a big fan of that play call at the time anyway, but I also didn't hate it. That's the one thing I am seeing with Thomas Brown is his situational play calling has been a lot better than Shane Waldron's. Although I would have preferred that the depth of that 3rd and 4 was beyond the sticks.
The 4th and 4?
Or 4th and 4?
Yeah, that was weird. Because even had he caught it, I don't know that he was going to get that.
I don't think he was going to get it unless he reached his arm out.
So I feel like the Bears have robbed Caleb Williams of a few, he has arrived moments.
Yes.
He went into Washington, D.C., which is where he's from, and played a pretty bad game, but rallied late.
Yeah.
He showed that clutch.
Put them in position to win.
Clutch ability that you need out of good quarterbacks. And not to keep bringing him up, but the anti-Justin Fields effect of all these incredible plays, but when you really need it in the 4th quarter, when you really need it on 4th down, that's when he was at his worst. Whereas Caleb played not a great game and then went into those last 2 drives in Washington and led what should have been a winning formula drive to win the game. Didn't happen for the reasons we already know. Then last week, Bears haven't played anyone in their division yet. The season wasn't going the way they wanted. You could have had that statement win. He again did everything he could to get you there, and you blow it. Now, today, same thing. But last week, not only would that have been that arrival moment for Caleb, but I felt like it would have been that for Odunze.
Yeah.
Because of how big he was on that final drive. And today, he took a little step back. But I still want to point out that he made some incredible plays that were clutch.
That catch when he was double teamed.
Yes. Knowing he's going to get hit, goes up, gets the ball. So I want to just put that out there that statistically today wasn't one of his best games. But still, you can see, especially once Matt Eberflus isn't part of this, what the 2 of them might be able to do for years to come with the Bears. And that is exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, and Keenan Allen's probably not going to be here. He had over 100 yards receiving, so he's taking a lot of that away. One thing I forgot to mention when I was talking about the press conference, though, with Caleb Williams talking about Kevin O'Connell, in his little talk about how good of a coach he feels Kevin O'Connell is, he kind of gave a backhanded insult to Sam Darnold because he's like, talking about, he basically says, and I'm not going to say it exactly as he said it, but I'm just going to kind of paraphrase, but it was basically along the lines of, Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach. He's able to make even, Sam Darnold look good.
Did he call him by name?
Yes. And he even said, even Sam Darnold. That was exactly in his quote. Even Sam Darnold.
I mean, I don't know.
At this point, it's hard to, you can't, look.
I always feel it's weird when they put mics in front of these people because they either are just going to not say what they're thinking and
hilarious.
Just give these bland responses, or they're going to say what they really think because that's what all of us think too.
Yes.
You were just saying it a few minutes ago that like Sam Darnold shouldn't be as good as he is, but he's in a system with a coach that's helping him be successful. I was really bummed though when they're just like just airing it out on the Bears. I didn't think this was one of Jaylon Johnson's best games.
Oh, his worst game.
It was definitely his worst, but you're going up against Justin Jefferson, which is part of why it wasn't as good. And he did a good job against him.
But the PI,
and that would have been an interception.
Fans, if you're saying that that's not PI on the one that was an interception that Jonathan Owens caught, that was pass interference.
Yes,
I'm sorry. He was holding him before the ball or when the ball was in the air, right? If it was before, it would have been defensive holding.
They were both handsy.
Yes.
That's why. But then he grabbed. It was a PI.
He got beat. He did. It
was not. It was the same amount of PI as the Odunze one could have been, though.
Correct.
So,
but I will say, I didn't think that the one on the third down that was like, it was like a little crossing route over the middle, and he kind of tugged him a little bit off the line. That one
shouldn't have been PI.
That was ticky tacky, and it was to me. It was probably just past the 5-yard mark, but like, I thought that was a little bit bullshit. I think he just got the call because he fell down and bitched about it. And he's Justin Jefferson. And, when you're good, you get the calls. And people still don't respect Jaylon Johnson in the national spotlight. And I don't understand why. I don't know if it's because he's not mouthy enough.
I think I've seen him get away with some things where I thought, probably because he's Jaylon Johnson. I think he's got that level of respect at this point. But today was not one of his better games. So,
no.
All right. Well.
Again, we have hit our subscriber count. So if you are listening and not a subscriber and you've gotten this far, hit the subscribe button so you get a chance to win a free jersey. If we do get a midweek episode out, it'll probably air on Wednesday since the game is Thursday, but I'm not guaranteeing anything. Again, short week and a holiday. Also, I'm going to put it out there, but I would like to do our mock offseason that midweek of December. We got nothing else to lose. The Bears have a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs. Both the Vikings are every other NFC North team won today, which again makes that percentage of them making it even lower.
Yeah, that's what I actually at some point was going to say is when you pointed out that it's a 1% chance and then you do what you did today.
Yeah.
The focus should be elsewhere. It should be on
let's see
how this offense specifically can come together and what the future will look like.
All right.
So time for us at the House Huddle to do a little more of that.
Yeah. I'm going to start diving in as soon as I get back from vacation into the NFL prospects for 2025 and come up. I think what we'll do is maybe we make it a 2-parter and we'll do what we normally do with the free agency. And then we'll do a mock draft to follow that up.
Are we going to do any mock head coach interviews?
Yeah, I'll be Matt Eberflus.
Actually, I know we're ending, but when you said you brought up Waldron taking over for Getsy, and maybe it's because he came in with like the same philosophy.
Yeah.
You realize they interviewed 9 people for the offensive coordinator, including Thomas Brown, but Waldron was the only one that got got a second interview.
Which is weird.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah. You
interviewed that many, and then you narrow it. You go from 9 to 1.
Yeah. You should.
Wouldn't you go from 9 to 4 or 9 to 3 or something like?
Yeah.
So Thomas Brown didn't impress them enough to get any kind of second interview. Yet you still bring him in onto the team, onto your coaching staff, and thank goodness they did because he's been a breath of fresh air in my mind.
And it almost seems like he didn't like Waldron either. Because he's even made comments like, look, we're getting focused. Like, we're going to change things up. We're hitting the practices. I mean,
People are starting to say even Shane Waldron, like they're saying even Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
All right. Nice show, Rob.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, if
Happy
we don't get
Thanksgiving.
another episode in.
That's right.
Bear down,
Bear down.
claws
Claws
up.
up.